It's so disgusting. I'll tell you what. The media is so dishonest. It's so disgusting.
Well, I'm trying to ask you honest questions. Let me ask you about this.
I'm giving you an answer. Okay, let me make it a little bit different. I'm not getting out. I'm going to win, okay?
So it was wonderful to have seen Patrick Bet-David on Valuetainment, where he was hosting a show live where he had Candace Owens and Chris Cuemo. And it was a very pivotal moment because Chris Cuemo does not want to admit the truth that him, along with his other anchors on CNN, were bad-mouthing Donald Trump for the past few years for the time that he was on CNN until he ended up getting fired. You know, and it's funny because I've always told people that the Cuemo brothers are originally from Queens, just like Trump. So when Trump was the businessman, they were very much cool with him. But it was until the media, the machine, told the Cuemo brothers to get in line and badmouth Trump. They did get in line, but that same machine took the Cuemo brothers out. So now, in a very graceful manner, you see him here on Valuetainment with Candace Owens and Patrick Bet-David, joined by a few others. And gracefully, they had to humble this guy. But still, he doesn't admit his wrongs. He doesn't admit the truth. So I just wanted to attach this here to let everybody see it for themselves. This is just a clip. And just tell me what you think overall.
Here's what happened. It is not my job to tell you who to vote for. I've never done that. It's really not my job to tell you who I would vote for, although you know what? I've been reconsidering what transparency in the media really means and what should be involved with it. And people probably should say, I told you, he fact checks you in like real time.
No. So, Siri doesn't believe you.
So I know, it's like Siri, he's got Chat GPT on my head. You know, it's like everybody's got. But here's what happened. Thank you very much. Here's what happened. I don't tell you who to vote for. I shouldn't. Should you be open to voting for Trump? Of course. Figure out what is in your best. Be selfish. What is best for you, for your family, for your community, for what you care about? That's it. Don't think party. The party is not there for you. You don't even know what the party's about. I say it to Democrats too. What are you about except the GOP is evil? You've allowed this to become a reductive battle of where it's, does he have dementia? Is this guy really demented? So it's madman or dead man. That's your choice. And you're okay with that. So be open. All voters should be open. Am I open? No, I'm not as open as you. Why? Because I have my own feelings for me and my own judgment. And as I said that day, next part of the problem, context. There is no context. There are only gotchas. So I said, if the former president is betting on my vote to get back in, he's going to have a bad day. That part doesn't get picked up. Why? Not helpful to the media who want to frame me as a changed man because I've gone bad on the media because of what happened to my brother. It's all BS, but it works. And so they attacked me. They attacked me for coming on here. They're going to crush me for sitting down and having a conversation with Tucker Carlson. And that is all part of the problem. The problem is, this morning, I'm talking to people about this, about you. You did very well in the analysis, by the way. I had to keep asking different people. How do you feel about Candace Owens? I was looking for some ammo. I got none. And they would say, I don't have a lot of conversations about this because, people are so divided. That's the problem. Vinny and I were just talking about it. We used to have conversations about this all the time. You didn't think that I was a bad person if I said that I owned a gun, unless I said I was going to take it and come to your house because I was mad at you. Then you had a problem with me. Now, somebody's evil because they believe differently than you. I'm telling you, that's not a natural inclination. That has been foisted upon you by the people in power who benefit from the division. It only works for the parties. It doesn't work for you. A shrinking electorate works for the parties. It doesn't work for you. Anger and division works for the parties. It is so much easier for
Candace,
me to beat Candace by showing that she's wrong than showing that I'm better.
What do you think about what he's saying?
I mean, everything he's saying sounds good. It's just not the Cuomo I remember on CNN. So I'm always hopeful that people in the retrospect...
I think it's the CNN you don't remember when Cuomo was on
I always just wish that people in the retrospect, because everybody understands humanity, everybody understands change, everybody understands that circumstances makes you see things differently. I remember CNN and you and your brother outside of CNN being really harsh on Trump supporters, and I don't mind that you've distanced yourself from that in a bit, but I think people would appreciate, acknowledging that period of time definitely did happen. And then what I would say is, you guys, the network also brought us the Me Too movement. And then in the end, your brother got bit by the same bullet that you guys were pretty much throwing at everybody else, which is a woman makes an allegation, it's got to be accepted, and a man's life has to be ruined. And so I think that people watching it are watching right now are just going to be like, dude, come on.
But I'm not an apologist from the outlet. I only control what I say.
And you said a lot.
You can't name one thing that I said.
I got to be honest, outside of the clips that circulate, I was not the number one CNN watcher, but I do know that you're going to live by whatever you're saying right now, because if I can tell you one thing about Trump supporters, they're good on finding the clips and putting it side by side. They were going to have you in 2016 saying something, and then they're going to have you right here saying, I've never said that.
You can do it, but you got to be right about the clip.
If you can ever look backwards and say, I have no regrets, nothing could change, I was great, I just question your sincerity, because I have regrets and changes about every chapter of my life. And so to hear you say that you have none.
But that's not what I said. Which is, of course, part of the problem.
You said a lot of words to say, I never said anything on the network. Things are being attributed to me that I never did. That's pretty much what your answer was,
But that's also the truth. Okay. I don't
I said, the Trump supporters are fast. Before we get up from this table, they're going to have something you said next to you saying that. I'm just telling you. That's why I always try to be honest.
The better chances, and again, I'm not new to this, okay? And I understand the game. And sometimes it's entertaining. Sometimes it's ruinous to getting anywhere that could be deemed progress, but that's not really the point. The point is to get paid. The point is to get a following. The point is to stoke anger. And I don't think Trump voters are a monolith. I think they're being forced to be a monolith. I live in a county that's Trumpy, in a village that's Trumpy. I'm a fisherman and I'm a fighter. And most of the guys that I'm with are Trump supporters, okay? So I understand it. And I don't believe in the color of the collar. I believe in where people's values are. It doesn't matter if you wear a tie or you wear a set of overalls. It's about what's in your head and what's in your heart. You can find whatever you want, but what's going to happen most likely is that you're going to take a clip that somebody put together for you online that is manipulated. And it will suit an agenda, and you will go with it, and you'll play gotcha. And I just don't, you do it, knock yourself out. I just don't think it gets you to a better place.
Okay, if you have no regrets and you think that your record was perfect.
I always have regrets.
Saying the exact opposite.
No, I'm saying this. I don't have any regrets about helping my brother. I don't know what I would have done differently.
No, not about
I'm
that.
saying
just
in terms of my time at CNN.
The network and
I don't control what a network does. I don't control what News Nation does.
Your time at the network.
I said, in answer to the question, do I wish I had said things differently that would have been more reflective of a reality I saw coming? Yes, but I wasn't in the business of demonizing people for voting one person or another. I will never apologize for pointing out when a politician or a person in power goes out of their way to not tell the truth, to divide, and to manipulate. The answer is, yeah, but you got to do it to both sides. Yes, you're right. You have to do it to both sides. But it doesn't mean that it's coming at you the same way from both sides.
And Candace Owens was absolutely correct. We can all take older clips of Cuomo speaking badly against Trump, feeding the narrative, feeding the agenda for having Americans go against Trump. And then you see him there in the clip on Valuetainment with Patrick Bet-David and Candace Owens and others. And he's just deflecting, beating around the bush. And he just can't get to the point and admit that he was wrong overall. You know, for me, I could just think about 2015, 2016, when Cuomo and Trump was sitting together in Miami, and Trump was telling him about his concerns about how, as America, we're losing really bad when it comes to overall trade and commerce, and how the border was a big concern for him. It was for that interview that people started speculating and making lies that he's racist towards people coming through to the border. But you all see that he was in the right. You all see where we're at now, today, what's happening in America when it comes to illegal immigration. You see it. So me in particular, I wanted to end this video off with the remaining part of the clip that I actually started this video off with. And I want you to see that spirit of Donald Trump, how he's a solid man and he believes himself and he never thinks of himself as somebody that's going to lose. And all men should think that way of themselves. So I particularly wanted to end this clip, of an older clip with Cuomo and Trump. And I'm sure in another video, I could do a compare and contrast of the things that Cuomo said in the past versus how he's deflecting now. So thank you all for watching. You all enjoy your Sunday. Happy Sunday. Stay blessed, everyone.
Are you thinking about when you would get out of this race?
Not even a thought. Not even 1% of a thought. Look, it's a phony deal that was perpetrated on the public. I was asked a simple question by Chuck Todd at Meet the Press, and I gave a very honorable and honest answer. I said, sure, if I was doing terribly, like some of these people, I wouldn't stay in. I mean, who would stay in? But I'm not. I'm leading every single poll. One poll came out yesterday, 30 or the other day. I'm at 35% nationally. 35%. I'm 20 points ahead of everybody else. Why would I get out? So they asked me a question, and instead of saying like these politicians, I watch these guys that are down at 0 and 1%, and they ask the same question. Would you think about getting? Oh, I'll never get out. I'll never get out. And you know they're going to be out in the next 2 weeks, okay? But they say that because that's
I understand where your take is on them, but because there's contraction.
No, I'm not getting out. I'm not going anywhere, Chris. I'm leading every poll. I'm leading every state. I'm not going anywhere, okay? I mean, I'll answer it a little bit differently. I gave a very honest answer. I said, look, if for some reason I had no chance and I collapsed, and they take that as saying, oh, maybe there's a little weakness in Trump in terms of the answer. There's no weakness. I'm not going anywhere. I'm leading every poll, and I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna make our country great again. That's what I'm not in this to have self-glorification. I've had plenty of that. I don't need that. I'm in it to make our country great again. And right now I'm leading. I'm winning. I'm winning by big numbers.
Right, but there is contraction.
By really big numbers.
There is contraction.
No I'm not getting out.
There is contraction, though. I'm not talking about you getting out. That was one question. The next question
depends on what poll you look at. If you look at some of the polls that came out 2-3 days ago, I mean, the NBC poll I was at 29. The OAN poll I was at 35. That came out 2 days ago.
But there is
35.
Right, but there is contraction. Your numbers are coming down a little bit. Others are moving up.
There was a 20-point lead.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's contraction in your mind, Chris, because everybody says, in the meantime, I'm
there's
still
contraction.
by 5, 6
there's contraction in math.
State.
It's math. It's not my mind. 29 to 24. That's math. That's not my mind.
Why aren't you quoting the polls where there's a 20-point lead?
I'm just showing the New Hampshire and the Iowa one. My question is that you hear people saying that you should get out or you have to change.
I don't hear that, Chris. I don't hear that. Well, he asked a question.
Well, you do hear Romney's guy
Chris,
went on and said, I think he's going to get out before Iowa.
Question, would you ever get out? I said, yeah, if I thought I wasn't going to win. I'm not a masochist. I told them that. I'm not a masochist if I thought I was going to win. And they end up saying, oh, Trump, look, he might. It's so disgusting. I'll tell you what, the media is so dishonest. It's so disgusting.
Well, I'm trying to ask you honest questions. Let me ask you about this.
I'm giving you an answer. Okay, let me make it a little bit different. I'm not getting out. I'm going to win, okay?